Brought to you by our sponsor, Tamworth's home of Isuzu Ute.
Partly cloudy, one out there for you. Chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon and the early evening. Your winds are northwesterly 15 to 20 k's, becoming light in the late afternoon. 34 is the top here Monday. Tuesday bringing you 37 degrees, 20% chance of a bit of rain in the region tomorrow. Looking at Gunnedah, 27 degrees. Crindale on 27. Tamworth currently on 26 degrees. That's the latest news, sport and weather.
Thanks to proud sponsor, Professionals Real Estate.
Big good morning to you and a big good morning to two very special guests this morning. Federal Member Barnaby Joyce joins us this morning. Barnaby, how are you?
Absolute pleasure to be here, and good morning, listeners. Good morning to Tamworth. Good morning to Attunga. Good morning to Liverpool Plains. It's great to be on your show, Macca.
Absolutely, and great to have you here, Barnaby, and also a very, very special warm welcome to One Nation Senator Pauline Hanson this morning. Pauline, how are you?
Hello, Macca. I'm fantastic. Thank you very much.
Good to have you on board. And
thank you.
Great to have you here. We've spoken a couple of times on the phone, and here in Tamworth, what a beautiful day. They've turned the weather on for you.
You certainly have. So it's a pleasure to be here. So thanks for having us on.
Excellent. So I'm assuming that the only reason you've come here is to get a steak cooked on a sandwich press in Barnaby's office. Is that right? Is that why you're here?
Well, actually, I never thought about that one. I think we might do that afterwards, Barnaby. See how good you can cook me nice steak.
It won't be as good as yours, because I think I almost had to declare those steaks. I didn't realise they were Wagyu. They were very, very nice.
2DR.
Very
2DR.
Well, Barnaby, obviously, you brought Pauline here for a reason. We've got no idea what that reason is. You've got a whole nation waiting on the edge of their seats at the moment to find out what your next steps are going to be. And I believe you've got a bit of an announcement for us.
Well, yes, and first of all, it's something that I've really considered over a long period of time. I'm very aware of that there'll be some hurt in this decision, and I understand that. But I believe that the best thing for me to do for my nation is to be in a place where, without being too sophisticated with my words, efficacious. That is the capacity to go to work and deliver outcomes. Pauline and I have known each other for a long period of time, and with discussing it very closely with Pauline and not rushing into it, Pauline made an offer to me to come to One Nation, and I have taken that up. But now I'm really going to focus back on the Australian people. I'm going to focus back on making sure things such as people who can't get into a house, individuals being regulated out of their freedom, the defence of our nation, which we're really concerned about with the progress of a totalitarian regime in China, making sure that individuals have that right to get ahead in business and get to where they need to be, make sure that the family is the central component in bringing up children, and it's not the whims of a bureaucracy or the whims of a certain union in the Teachers Federation. That working with people such as Pauline, I think I have a fellow traveller, and I have great respect for the work that Pauline has done. She has driven the political agenda. She has made us, when I was with the coalition, react to where she has gone, and that has been an incredibly positive thing for our nation. The most recent being the immense pressure she put on for the removal of net zero, and now I hope, because we have eviscerated our power grid and sent pensioners to the wall with poverty, that we can start to get some common sense back into it.
Allow me to be the first one to publicly congratulate you on that one, Barnaby, and well done to everybody here.
Thank you.
Certainly got a crowd that's right. How do you feel, Pauline?
I'm a bit emotional about it, and I'll tell you why. I have a lot of respect for Barnaby. When I was voted out of the Parliament in 1998, I saw Barnaby move into the Parliament on the Senate floor. And I thought, I may not be there, but I saw in Barnaby a person like myself that wanted to speak up. And I've seen that over the years, and with his knowledge and experience in many areas, especially economics as well, and the rural sector, he's been Deputy Prime Minister, he's had portfolios. I think he has a lot to offer. And, this is why I think that over the years, and a lot of things that I've said, I've been criticised, I've been put down, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about and all the rest of it. It's only because of the team effort that I've pushed through and I got back into politics to make a difference for the people. I see myself as a member of Parliament to represent the people first and foremost, not the political parties. And it's about not keep my job. That's why people consider me to be controversial, but really am I? Or am I a person raising the issues that need to be debated to find the right answers? And when I come to towns like Tamworth, and I've been to the cattle sales this morning with Barnaby, and I've been involved in this myself, I've had my own cattle, so, you know, I do know what's going on. And I see that people are doing it tough. And that's only because of government legislation, and that's from both the major political parties. What I want now is to form the right team around me. People criticise me, what would she know? Well, I think they've underestimated me over the years. I don't know everything, but you can only push through further if you have the right people around you. With what I don't know, then you rely on those people, or you get the right information, advice. And I think that with Barnaby on board with One Nation now, that we will push forward. We will hold both the Labor and the opposition to account, which I have done. You're the first to come out against the COVID jab, about the voice, you know, other issues that we have tackled. And if we don't arrest this, we're going to lose the farming sector, which is dear to my heart. Many issues that are important, and I'm really proud to have Barnaby on board. I was at the cattle sales and people saying, well, I hope you two team up. We would think you'll make a great team together. And if we have that support from the people here, and I'm gathering that from around the country, but let me assure the people out there, Barnaby was adamant about me coming over to One Nation. He said, I was voted in this electorate by the people here. My duty is to represent them, which I will do, you know, till the rest of my term. So he's not walking away from the people. He's going to enhance and give him more of a voice to speak up on those important issues to him where he was stifled by the National Party or pushed to the backbench because they didn't want him. And isn't it funny? They didn't want him to campaign and help them, but they are dead scared, out of their wits, about having him campaign against them now. So that tells you something. No to Barnaby, and I want to also thank Vicky, his wife, because support comes from the family. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's got behind us. Please join us on this journey, because we intend to turn this country around to make it great again.
Barnaby, you said it yourself, you're a front row forward. You weren't interested in being put in the reserve bench at all. This gives you an opportunity now to even run an office, hopefully a Senate office in our region. How important is it that you play in that starting five?
Well, as Pauline said, and as I've said over and over again, till the end of this term, the people of New England, I'm going to be absolutely laser-like focused on them, and I do that every day. Then it's up to the people of New South Wales, and they will have a choice as to whether they believe that I'm worthy and of a great honour of being a senator for New South Wales. If I'm given that opportunity by the people of New South Wales, then just like I have with everything I've done, I'll give it my greatest endeavours and fight tooth and claw to look after them. On the premise of where I believe I'm philosophically aligned with One Nation and with the, I'm a conservative. I'm not embarrassed about it. But this is what's happened in the past. People have been embarrassed to say I'm a conservative.
It's almost at a point where we can't fly our Australian flag because we feel like we're doing the wrong thing. That's when you.
Macca, that's a great metaphor of it. You're supposed to feel embarrassed about the Australian flag. You're supposed to feel embarrassed about sort of a Judeo-Christian principle.
And I was told to take off the flag in the chamber, and so was Jacinta Price. How disgusting is that? Yet we fly 3 flags on the floor of Parliament, which it should be 1. Yeah, that's how strongly I feel about it. We are all united as one Australian together, not divided as a nation. Because we're not going to survive with the threats that are before us. We see a totalitarian regime. It's not a joke. They've circumnavigated Australia. They're on live fire exercises off Sydney. They're hacking into things. And so we have to bind together in the tightest form as a nation with an Australian culture. People get upset with me when I say, no, you can have multi-ethnicity, you can have multiple religions, you can have multi-race, colour, but you can't have multi-cultures. You've got to have an Australian culture, and you've got to rally behind that culture, because from unity comes strength, and from strength becomes the survival of our nation. And we live in a time where we wouldn't have, if they would have laughed you out of the room if you'd said that back in the 1980s, but that ain't the 2020s. The world's changed, and so we've got a big task in front of us. And now it's if we're given that opportunity, to the latter part of your question, I will have in negotiation a Senate office, not in Sydney, but with the people, and people such as City of Tamworth is a great place, because people have to believe that you're not just for Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane. You're for all of Australia. You're for the western suburbs, you're for the eastern suburbs, you're for the regional towns, you're for the remote villages, and for the people in the outback.
One Nation up around 18%, I believe, at the moment. Pauline, this is the biggest support
Yeah.
you've seen as far as popularity. Are we seeing a shift in the way Australians want to see Australia run?
Most definitely, and I'll tell you why, because I travel extensively amongst Australians. They're hurting. They're really hurting, whether in the hip pocket, trying to get housing, trying to pay the rent, trying to get the kids through education, schooling. And they're really angry about what is happening in the educational system. The kids are being brainwashed. This gender dysphoria rubbish that's being fed to them. You can choose to be a boy or a girl. You've got
Or a cat
the
these
overspent.
days.
Oh, a cat. It's just, it just never ends. It's ridiculous. Then you actually have over government spend. The economy is in a bad way, $1 trillion plus debt that we're having. You keep paying out $50 billion a year in interest, you're not going to have the money for the services that people need. That's why in rural and regional areas are doing it tough, because you don't have the doctors, you don't have the hospitals, you don't have the services that you require, the nursing homes available, and it will only get worse. You will end up with we're living in third world conditions, and then you're going to find that you're going to be controlled how far you go with this carbon emissions rubbish that's being fed to us, and the planet is not changing. It will take its own cycle, and it's been doing it for billions of years. Changing your emissions isn't going to change it. You need to go out and do your research and understand. Even Alan Finkel said, he said you can shut everything down. If you got rid of our 1.5 emissions that we put out, or 1% of emissions that we put out in Australia, will not change the temperature one iota. So people have to decide. We want to throw out the climate change department. We want to get rid of all these, solar panels on prime agricultural or productive agricultural land. Get rid of the wind turbines. Put your coal-fired power stations in. Go with one nuclear power plant to give us the power like other countries around the world have. Common sense policies. It's understanding people and not being driven by elites with their own agenda, lining their own pockets and listening to bureaucrats who've never had a job in the real world, and get back to the grassroots common sense that this country
Especially the city folk
needs.
trying to tell us how to run our farms. That's
Oh,
the funny
just-
one. I'll let you guys go in 2 seconds. Just want to ask the question. You're talking about building a team, a power team, if you like, and two of them, no doubt,
We're
helping
going
make
to be
these
the A
decisions.
team. I tell you what, going
Yeah.
into the next election, be prepared.
You've said to people, they've got my number. Barnaby was obviously a bit of a chase. Who's your next chase, Pauline?
Oh, well, listen, Macca, you've had one exclusive today. You're not going to get another one.
It was worth a try.
Right, it's worth a try. It's
There's
not
a
going to
few
happen.
numbers, and obviously Barnaby's got some contacts as well, so we look forward to the next step. Barnaby Joyce, congratulations on the move. Congratulations on the
Thank
pickup,
you.
Pauline Hanson.
Barnaby,
Thank you.
yeah, wonderful, mate.
There we go. You heard it here first, right across the nation on 88.9. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Macca.
So,